The opinions and comments expressed in this podcast are solely those of the students and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of sjspr.radio or St. John's School.
You are tuning into sjspr.radio. This is Senior Talk, the show where we pick seniors' brains about school life and real life. I'm your host, Salomar Levis, and joining me on this episode is Thomas Bannett.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
So Thomas, how are you feeling today?
Surprisingly pretty well. I do have 2 tests pending for tomorrow, but for now neglecting that has gotten me through, so, I believe I'll be fine.
So before we start, let's give some background information to our audience. How many years have you been here at St. John's?
I'm not sure I can do the math, but I've been here since 5th grade. I moved here when I was like 10 or 11, so yeah.
Where did you move from?
Barcelona. How about you?
I've been here my entire life since pre-K, so I think this marks around the 14th year I've been here. And yeah, I've lived in PR my whole life, so this is sort of what I'm used to.
Aren't you guys like the oldest class in St. John's? Like the first pre-K or something?
Yes, we're the first pre-K class. And fun fact, I went to Robinson for my pre-K since SJS didn't have one. And then the next year, when I came to join a pre-K, because of my birthday, they made me repeat pre-pre.
Really?
So that's why I'm one of the oldest in our grade. But I'm a repeater.
I had to do the exact same thing. They gave me the option somewhat to be in the grade above or in 5th grade, but I didn't speak English when I got here. So my parents were like, maybe give them a break. So I redid 5th grade.
And for now, how do you feel moving to PR since your move from Barcelona?
It was probably one of the best things my parents did. It was a great change, which I wouldn't have expected. I'm also really drawn to cities, but having kind of a half city, half very tropical upbringing from 5th grade on was pretty beyond what I would have had if I grew up in Barcelona. So that's pretty cool. How are you feeling considering that tomorrow you and most of our grade get to hear about their ED decisions?
I'm feeling fine. I haven't had that much time to really think and feel anxious over it, but I do just want to find out tomorrow, and I feel like I'm not super in love with my school and the fact that for me it's a win-win if I get in, I'm done with the application and everything, but if I also don't get in, there's a lot of schools I love, and I'm just appreciating the process and just having that trust that I'm going to end up wherever I go.
I mean, I don't know where I stand on appreciating the process. This process has been something I strongly don't appreciate. It's been very long, but I would be anxious to hear. I'm very excited, honestly, about being a bystander in this situation. And the fact that I have nothing coming tomorrow is pretty nice. I'm just emotional support for the day. So.
And you talked about how you lived in Europe growing up and then you moved here, but now for college you want to go back to Europe. So can you tell us a little bit about how your application process, how it's the European process, why you chose to go to Europe?
Well, why I chose it, I like some U.S. cities, but overall I don't know if I was excited to live in the U.S. for 4 years plus. I kind of need a break. I think quality of life is so emphasized in Europe in every sense, so I'm excited to get back to that. If I'm in Spain, I'll have 2 to 3 hour lunch breaks wherever I am, so that's pretty nice. And besides that, the process, I think it's a little more tedious-ish because you have to apply to a lot of the universities separately, not through one platform, Common App. But that's also because I'm applying to different countries. The U.S. is still just one big country. So, yeah, it's just been a little longer. And I don't hear back till, March, which is, a bit worse. But I can't do anything about it.
Do you want to say some of the cities you're applying to and maybe what you're looking forward to most?
I've been looking at Milan, some places in the Netherlands like Rotterdam or Amsterdam, also Madrid, and London. Those are my tops. And I think all of those schools emphasize, like I said, there's a big emphasis on quality of life in these cities. Like I loved the Netherlands. The whole biking thing really was like a pro for me. The application process is a little harder though. They ask me for my grades from this year, and a lot of schools which I discarded asked me for my AP scores from this year, and I just thought that wasn't okay. So yeah, but my top schools right now are pretty good, and I'm pretty excited to go to any of them. Like I had a top choice and they denied me in October, and now all of my secondary schools are equally top choices.
So maybe in comparing it to ours and sort of the US process that most of us filled out the Common App. We talked about our personal story we wanted to share, and a lot of our supplements have to do with our personality and everything. But you've told me that your process is more straight to the point about career-wise and what you want to do in the future.
Yeah, it's way more like bureaucratic and insensitive, like to do. It's so monotonous, and your writings is just you market, like all writings like that for universities are you marketing yourself to the school. But the way you have to write them, literally they ask you like, why are you good for my school? Like why? So I think it's very different. They don't want to know about your personality. They want to know why your personality is what the school wants. Yeah. How have you been enjoying your process? You talked about, enjoying the process. How has that been?
I haven't, maybe I used the wrong word of enjoying. It's been definitely one of the hardest processes, and I think that it's until you become a senior, you don't really have any process like that, any similar at all. And since summer, I've been writing my Common App essay, and anyone who says that 11th grade is harder than senior year, I hate to break it to you, but senior year, first semester is definitely worse. You have hard classes with the same amount of workload as in junior year, and then you come home and any day you have free, you have to dedicate to writing endless amount of essays and getting those checked, edited a million of times. So yeah, it's definitely been hard, but now with the semester coming to an end, we're just looking forward to next semester where we can sort of handle ourselves a little bit smoother, and we have a lot of celebrating to do with our last semester as seniors. So maybe looking back at this semester, we've had the entrance, the senior sleepover,
those were all really fun.
Parranda. Do you want to talk about any specific?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you if you had a favorite out of those right now off the top of your head.
Okay, so I would say that the sleepover we had in the 11th, like right when it ended, I feel like that was one of our first bonding moments as seniors. And then our senior entrance was also very, very fun. And then I think that lately we have been getting that more of a bond as a senior class. I feel like our class has been very divided throughout the years, but this year I feel like I've been talking to everyone, that we're sort of coming together like seniors do. I feel like we're even gonna get closer next semester. But I would say that La Parranda we had last weekend was very, very fun. One of the stops was at my house. Do you want to talk some more about that?
About the Parranda?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a blast. It was a good route, honestly, too. We started at Jaime's house, and then we went to David's house and ended at Salo's house. And I kept referring to it as a chinchorreo with really long stops, because that's really what it felt like too. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed the bus ride between all of the houses. It was very like chaotic fun. And then the times we got in the houses I felt was very like our grade coming like very together, because I don't know, like there was a lot of parents there too, so it felt more like a bonding event than just like a party while we were in the houses. It was nice. I really enjoyed it.
I feel like I talked to so many different people in each of the party stops, and the food was so good in each of the stops. So Jaime and David that had really good food, and thank you because it was so good. And also in my house, we served some pretty good food too.
They served soup in Salo's house in the last stop, and I don't think anything could have been a better idea. Everyone was eternally grateful. I had like 3 servings. It was great.
And then after we had our own little sleepover, which was very fun as well.
Yeah. Also throwing back on the class sleepover, I really enjoyed that too. I think it was like one of the first times where it felt like our grade was more willing to interact with each other because we saw like what was coming up this year.
And it was also, I think the next day we had the senior takeover at school. So it was us. We had our senior class shirts. I feel it was like the first step of actually being seniors. And like I said before, I also feel like that event really was the start of like bonding as a class. And I, and Manuela slept in an inflatable bed together. And do you remember what happened?
It started deflating while we were asleep, like at 5 a.m. or something. And I remember that Manuela and Salo tried to wake me up so I would get up so we could like plug it in and reflate it. And I got really mad at them. And I was like unwilling to stand up. I was like, no, like I like it better like this. I'm more comfortable, like get away. And then they pushed me off.
He deflated it on purpose.
I did
and
not.
We were singing.
That was pretty funny. I'm way more excited for everything coming up next semester. I can't believe this semester flew by this fast. We had so many events, and it feels like our first day was a week ago. I feel like all of the processes we've been doing and along with schoolwork has made every day go by faster because we've always like been having something to do and something coming up. So I'm also very excited to try and take next semester a little slower.
Yeah, November and December went by really fast. I literally can't believe it's the 14th of December, and I feel like November passed by really fast.
Yeah.
But we're starting off strong next semester with Sanse, and then we have some school trips as well.
The itinerary next semester is lining up pretty nicely. We have the first week just to relax when we come back, and by the way, if you can't tell, I've given this a lot of thought. And then coming up the next weekend/week, because it starts Wednesday, is Sanse. And then after that, we have our class chincharreo with all of our parents, which I'm still very confused whether they're like all going to be in one bus together, because that's a lot for them. I'm very excited. And
the week after that, I have a Model UN trip, which is very exciting. And when we're going to Chicago, where it's going to be very cold.
I didn't know you were going to Chicago.
Yeah.
And then Salo also has the JSA trip because she managed to sign up for both, because why not?
We're going together.
I'm very excited for our trip.
And it's in Washington, D.C. at the end of February.
With Miss Bea. Oh, not with Miss Bea, but with Miss Naceli.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those trips. So, like, wow. I just want it to be next semester.
I keep thinking about how excited I am for things to come up. And then I keep thinking to myself that I want to try to take it a little slower, because I can't believe how fast time has been going by. But it's like more shocking every time. I didn't even realize it was Christmas up until like 2 days ago, and I processed that like 10 days is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and second semester is going to go by so fast. I know we also have La Fuga.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, in March.
We recently had to debate whether that was going to be the same day as spring break or Model UN. You're in Model UN, right? Aren't you going to be competing that weekend? Or like, are you just not going to compete?
The competition got moved, so I think
Really?
to our favor, yes.
Oh, wow.
So I think now we have a day that everyone can go.
Oh, that's very exciting. I was completely unaware.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that going to be too? Do you know?
What thing? The competition?
The Fuga.
No. I don't know.
Have we decided?
I don't think like the details have been super discussed or planned out yet. But I know that after we have the banquet, graduation.
I'm very excited for the banquet with our teachers. I can't believe each one of us has to give a speech. I don't know who I'm going to dedicate mine to.
There's so many I would dedicate it to.
Yours is going to be to Bea. I can already predict it.
I'm talking about the teachers. Like, is there any teacher that comes to your mind that you know has impacted you?
I feel like Mr. Valentin. Realistically, I took regular math up until 10th grade with Mr. Snow, and regular math during COVID too, online, where I can't say I learned much, if anything, really. But I then remember junior year, the first year that we did in person, I signed up for honors pre-calc because I know I had to be an AP Calc because I wanted to. And I practically failed the first 2 months, and I'd always tell Mr. Valentin, let me catch up for a sec. I haven't been, all of the other people in our class had been in honors for the past forever. And also we're just better at math. And I feel all of last year with him, I caught up 3 years worth of work and 3 years worth of content that I never knew. And yeah, I think he deserves so much credit for that. There's so much I didn't know math, and he'd be so concerned every time I was I don't know anything about this. He's oh wow, let me teach you.
I feel like you've gotten really good at math.
I can't believe I'm in the same class as you in math. I don't think that's pretty crazy. And Mr. Valentin was a great help for that. How about you?
I would probably say Mr. Valentin too. Academically, because I also took math with him, and he really challenges his students. And I feel I really learned what it means to study for a test and challenge myself, study a lot. And he's also really caring about his students. I feel one thing that we have a lot in this school is teachers that care about their students. And I remember I was in a college interview and they asked me what's the thing that you've been in SGS your entire life? What's the thing that most stands out about it, or the thing that you like most? And then the first thing that came to mind was just the teachers and just how caring they are, because I know that in a lot of other schools, I hear that the teachers don't care about their students' mental health, or they don't care if they fail them. And I feel most of our teachers here want what's good for us. So that's something nice. But yeah, Miss Valentin and maybe Miss Bea, I took AP Lang with her last year, but we definitely connected through Model UN. She was my advisor, and she's been someone that has given me support all this time, and she's the best. She supports all of us, and I consider her my friend.
I just have really enjoyed this year more than I thought I would.
Me too. I thought maybe with some of the administrative changes it would feel a little bit different, but for example, I've been involved in a lot of different things throughout this past semester, and I've definitely felt the support from everyone, and everything has been going great. Today we just had a ceremony to honor Don Luis, but there are a lot of people retiring and leaving. That makes me sad, me being here so long. Also, I'm leaving next year, so I don't know. It's bittersweet.
You organized a lot of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
With Soraya.
What'd you like most about it?
His reaction, because I know that people, the maintenance staff that are here all the time, they're sort of behind the scenes, but they do so much. And just being able to do stuff for them, make them feel recognized, and let them know how much the students value their work, it makes me feel really nice. And him knowing that makes me feel nice, and I'm going to miss him next semester.
That's very sweet. I love our relationship with the guards, too. I really enjoy them.
I feel there's definitely a big connection here in relationships with students and staff, teachers.
Yeah. I think there's teachers who we also, our whole grade characterizes with an era. For Miss Alfonso, I always, remember her. And I'm so excited to have her for our senior trip.
Me too.
I keep thinking about this because it's also such a great match to have her and Mr. Brewer take us, who I had for sociology in 8th grade and haven't talked to since. But I loved him that year. And yeah, I'm just very excited for that.
So we're going in our senior trip to Spain. So you, living in Spain, I think you might take us some places, or how do you feel all of us going to Spain, your two worlds colliding?
I know, I keep thinking about it. I think it's going to be so weird for me because it's also not just a couple of people. It's going to be my whole, not the whole grade, but most of the grade there. So it's just going to feel so confusing, I think. And I keep thinking about it a lot, actually. How my closer friends, I'm super excited to take people, places I go, or just like good food places that like you guys will love. Like I'm so excited for that. And Madrid, I don't know that well, but I know Madrid will be so fun with our grade too. So I'm pretty excited for that route.
And talking about our senior trip, that prom is right before. I know that you already bought your suit.
Yeah, I did. I didn't think I would have bought it this soon. I had no idea what I wanted. And then we were in New York with my mom over Thanksgiving. And we were like, hey, let's like actively like look around thinking of it to see if we like find any ideas. And right when we said that, like walked into a store and I found like one that was like perfect. And I got it. And I'm so happy. How about you? Do you know at all?
I can't believe that we're going to have a prom. And I haven't even thought about prom just with everything going on this year. So I feel like when the semester ends, I've been so much on work/college mode that I'm going to finally be able to think about some of the iconic things about being a senior. But I haven't thought about my dress. I haven't thought about anything. But I am looking forward to, and I'm wondering if there's going to be any senior promposals.
Oh, I know. I keep thinking about that. I think our grade is less couple oriented than the one before, but I think there should still be some interesting ones, but we'll see. I think that'll start coming in next semester.
I'm hoping there's gonna be a few because there's not one that comes to my mind of like who could ask who. Like there's no one I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna ask them.
That's better. It leaves it up for surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope people ask because I don't know.
You hope someone asks you?
I mean, I haven't thought about myself. I haven't even thought about who I want to go with. For myself, I haven't thought about anything, but I do hope that, like, the people in our grade, like, dare to ask other people and, like, that people go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
What
excited.
about you?
I haven't. I know I want to bring Natalie Leloge. She used to be in the grade above. Besides that, I don't know.
Maybe shifting because my mind is still on college. Shifting. I know that we're both applying to business schools, so maybe can you tell us something about what you like about business or what you're looking forward to?
I think I'm looking for a very different kind of business than you. I'm looking more towards like business management of creative industry. So anything leaning in that. I've picked, there was two kind of schools that match my criteria. It was either more creative programs in a business school or an arts school and their business programs. So yeah, now it's really just up to where I get in, which I like. So yeah, I got into one school and that one's just my pending, and then I hear from all of the others in like March. So I'll make my decision then, I guess.
I'm so excited for you.
I know each option is so different that whatever I do kind of like drastically changes where my life goes for the next 4 years, which is pretty crazy. Also, like if I get into if I go to my school in London, I signed up for a gap year in that school, but I didn't for my others.
You want to talk about what you would do in your gap year?
I don't really know yet. I think my brother did one, and his best tip was to divide the year in sets of 3, because it's not really 12 years. It's not really 12 months. It's 9 if you account for like summer and all of that. So maybe like 3 months work, 4 months work, and then the rest travel, something like that. My brother did it somewhat like that, and he worked for a bit, made money, and then traveled with that money. I don't know if I'll do it like that. We'll see.
And why do you want a gap year? Because I know that I personally, I can't imagine doing a gap year. I don't know. I'm just like I'm thinking going straight to college. So maybe talk about like, what do you think you're gonna gain from it, or what urges you?
I think it's a great alternative. Like it's like a break, but I was only gonna do it if I knew what school I was going to and if I were committed and like they had a spot for me that year. Because for a lot of European schools, you just have to like reapply during your gap year, but then it's not really a gap. You're still working for half of the year and doing your apps. So I didn't really want to do that. But I think it's so unique when you're in the school, because then it really is 1 year of just like bliss where you like, you can set up things and work and do things, but you have no worries. You know where you're going in 1 year. Because it's not like a year off after college, because then you don't know what's coming after, and that's a little stressful. So I just like the fun of like being able to do 1 year's worth of like adventures carelessly and like just have fun and learn, and then 1 year after I go to college and start 4 years process of work.
I feel like that's super important because, like, we've been in school our entire lives. And for me, like, I'm excited for college and learning about everything that I'm going to learn. But also, it's hard because us being young, we want to go out there and, like, see the world. So thinking about studying for 4 more years is a little scary. So for me, it's very important that wherever I go, I was looking like, maybe starting a business during college, or for me, internships or even co-op programs are super important, and sort of that balance between still studying but also forming ourselves and getting some of that real life action.
I get that. I really would love to do a gap year. If I don't, I think it's a little hard on the soul to go straight directly to like 4 more years of studying and then maybe just like more years of studying if you do a master's. But at the same time, I know it'll be a change of scene, so it'll still feel like a breath of fresh air, like something new. Like I'm excited to like be somewhere entirely new where I don't know anything and anyone and everything is like new. That to me is super exciting. Does that worry you at all, or do you find that more exciting too?
I'm super excited to go somewhere new where no one knows me, where I can just, I don't know, like start something. But also, I feel like I've been my entire life seeing my siblings leave. I have 4 older siblings. So I've been seeing them leave and just wanting so bad to finally go to college and maybe step out of Puerto Rico and be outside for a while. But as the time comes, you start to realize how good it is here. And like, as you learn about more different people and everything, I'm going to definitely miss being in PR. And I feel like as Islanders, we always want to leave, but I'm definitely going to miss it. Like, I can totally imagine being homesick next year. There's so many unique things that we don't realize that are unique to PR. And I know that you have more of like, you can tell what's unique here. So maybe you can talk about that.
You're going to have a winter for the first time of your life.
Yeah.
You are going to live in winter for the first time. Like, while living here, I started to associate winter with just like 2 to 3 weeks a year, which is just our winter break. And I used to like ski competitively. So like I used to like go to like it used to be winter 24/7 until winter ended, up until like February and stuff. And then I like forgot that was like totally how nature works. So I think you're going to be pretty shocked when it's like February and it's still cold. Like,
even fall, the autumn leaves. I'm so excited for our seasons.
I'm so excited to have seasons again.
But also what I'm going to miss is the food.
And the beach.
Yeah.
That's going to be really rough.
And I'm going to miss the school because I grew up here most of my life, and I'm definitely going to come back, say hi to my teachers, and carry it with me.
I definitely think we had it good here.
Yeah, I'm so excited for next semester, and maybe we can do another senior talk at the end and then reflect on our experiences. Well, that's about it for now. But before we go, I want to thank my guest and fellow senior on this episode, Thomas Bannett.
It's been great. You know, I really enjoyed this, Salo. I do have to say, though, I'm pretty ecstatic to go find out how France versus Morocco is working out. I hope Morocco is winning. We'll see.
I don't know who I want to win. Honestly, if any of them win, I'll be happy. But if you're a senior and haven't signed up yet, contact our parent producer, Sara Diaz-Velarde, at 787-501-8000. Please include your name on the text message. For sjspr.radio and Senior Talk, this is Salomar Levis. Until next time.